Hey everybody, this is Brandon Luna, and I just wanted to let you know that the Luna Podcast Group is expanding. If you're a fan of Love to Hate, don't forget to check out our two brand new shows, Fright Flicks and Second Chance Cinema. Also, don't forget, there's a lot of great content on the Luna Podcast Group already. We've got 200 plus episodes of Calypso's Cigar Review and Cigars and Cinema. So check out all of our great content on the Luna Podcast Group at iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, or YouTube.
Hey kids, we're back, and so are you. At least we think you are. We don't really know. We'd like to assume. But it's time for another edition of Love to Hate. I'm Philip Fullman.
And I am Brandon Luna.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
I'm good. How was your last week?
It was fun. Yeah. Good times.
What's
good times.
new?
You want to go there?
Stay tuned for an answer to that in a couple of weeks. Brandon will answer that question for you. So, last week we were talking about bucket list and what came up with. Some people like going to amusement parks.
Right.
And some people, that is a bucket list item, is going to amusement parks. And of course, the ones everybody thinks of are Disneyland, Disney World, Epcot Center. Those are the ones that really pop into mind. Of course, there's amusement parks pretty much in almost every state.
Right.
So you've been. You said you went to Disney
World and Disneyland.
Okay, so East Coast and West Coast.
Right.
Was one better than the other?
Disney World is definitely better.
What makes it better?
Because it's in Florida. I don't know. No, it's just it's a much bigger park, and they have different parks, like sub parks outside of it. So you've got Epcot Center, you've got the thing that's the Jungle Zoo thing, and there's a bunch of stuff.
Really?
Variety of things.
It's not all just.
No, it's different.
Okay, because in my mind, having not been, it's just a bunch of named after Disney properties.
Right.
Like you could go on the ride called the Black Hole, and people would be like, "What's that?"
Right.
Or you could go on the Thanos ride or the whatever.
Right. So they have Magic Kingdom, which is the main thing where you have the castle and all of that, and there's rides within Magic Kingdom. Now that one is very Disney centric. So all
and by Disney centric, you mean like the traditional Mickey, Minnie, Donald?
Right. Yeah, you got the characters running around taking pictures. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of places to eat. There's some rides here and there. And then you've got the Epcot Center, which is totally different. And Epcot is basically the big ball, the God's golf ball.
The golf ball?
Yeah.
Okay.
And around Epcot, it's basically like a faux version of places all over the world. So you've got like the section that's Germany, and it looks like you're in Germany, and there's restaurants in there, and you can get some, Spätzle and all that stuff. And then you've got Asia, and there's all kinds of,
and
Asian
do they have
influenced.
rides in each of these?
There is rides as well, but most of them are more on the educational side, like, oh, here's what happens, when Mongolia struck, and whatever, I don't know.
Okay.
It's stuff like that. Like the one, like put it this way:
is there like a bread line in the Russia part?
Yes,
of it?
Of course. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We went to the Norway thing or whatever. It was this really odd Norwegian boat ride that was fucking hilarious. It was awesome. We rode it like 3 times because number one, it was cold, and it was in the middle of the summer. It was hot as shit. And number 2, no one was on the ride. And number 3, it was really funny because it was just so weird. And it was like obviously from the 50s or 60s. Like they hadn't updated the ride at all. Well, now we found out they totally struck that. It's gone, and now it's a frozen ride or some shit. So it just tells you how they commercialize and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
So and that was Epcot. What else do they have there? Is there? I guess there's Star Wars World now. Or?
Well, there's going to be. Yeah, that's coming.
Okay.
They'll have a whole Star Wars theme park now.
So then, what's at Disneyland? Is that just kind of like the Magic Kingdom?
Yeah, it's like the Magic Kingdom, but they've also got sub things there. I haven't been to Disneyland since I was a kid, so I can't really say how it's changed or if it's better anymore or whatever. But when I went as a kid, it was pretty, pedestrian and kind of ish. It was about as good as like a Six Flags. It wasn't super better. It was just that the Disney guys were there.
So you were in Los Angeles with your folks.
Right.
Did you go to Knott's Berry Farm?
No, we did not.
Because I don't even remember what that all entails. I just remember seeing commercials for it. What was the other one? The Hollywood thing.
Oh, Universal Studios.
The Universal Studios tour. Did you guys do that one?
Yeah, Universal Studios is great.
Was that cool?
Universal Studios is more like Six Flags, where it's more rides based, and it's very much. I think it's more fun for adults, really.
Sure.
Because they do have bars and stuff there, and, that type of thing. So it's more adult
Get
oriented.
a hit on by Harvey Weinstein.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
It happens all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember there was an episode of Different Strokes where they ended up at Universal Studios and they ran into David Hasselhoff and Kit, and I thought, how bad does that suck that now you got to talk to David Hasselhoff? So it's like, I don't want to go to Universal
Just
Studios.
don't let him break out into song. Give him no reason to sing. You're probably better off.
Yeah. God, he's bad.
Yeah.
So Universal Studios was cool.
Yeah.
What now? You went with the family,
Right.
Is it as obscenely expensive as everybody says?
It is pretty expensive, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's always deals to get you down there,
Okay.
and a lot of travel
Like stay
companies.
at the hotel,
Yeah.
and then you can.
Right, like we did. We stayed on property, and there's different properties you can stay on, and there's different levels of cost involved with that. Like the property we stayed on was not one of the better newer properties. It was a little bit older, but we still got tickets to all the different parks.
I can't
and
imagine
everything
it's a
else
dump,
that goes
though.
on. No, it was nice. It was nice.
Yeah.
And they have all the food there that you go get your tickets and get your breakfast, lunch, and dinner there if you want to do that, or you can eat at the park. And it's basically set up to, here's a certain amount of money you're going to spend, and
Right.
you're gonna
So you budget,
yeah,
obviously
you
gotta
budget,
for
but
the trip.
basically once you pay for it, there's really nothing extra unless you want to buy trinkets and stuff,
So it's kind of all inclusive.
All
So is the
inclusive,
food at the park included too?
right, yeah. And you have a
okay.
budget per day to spend on food at the park, and you just
Gotcha.
stay within that budget.
So you
If
figure
go
out how many
over,
$12 junior cheeseburgers you can
right.
get.
And if you go over, then you pay a difference. It's not a big deal. Like we went and had a couple of nice meals at like Wolfgang Puck's and stuff, but for
There's
the
a
most
Wolfgang
part,
Puck's at
at Disney World, yeah,
really?
yeah.
Huh.
They have a whole section there that's adult oriented in Disney World now. That's it was called something else. They changed it recently, but it was basically just like a shit ton of bars and restaurants just all down this row.
Somebody told me that they had at one point a cigar store.
They do have a cigar store there. Yep.
They still really?
Yep. Our guy over in Florida sells to him. So yeah.
No kidding. Mm-hmm. Okay, so maybe I could be talked into going to Disney World.
Right, and that's part of his. Like I'm back at the Magic Kingdom. I'm like, you fucker. Like I don't have any place that
Seriously?
cool to go to.
All right, so Disney's not all bad then.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, kinda cool.
I've been to one in South Carolina. I can't remember the name of it, and then to Six Flags Texas and Six Flags Georgia, which basically are the same thing. Pretty much just everything's rides based, but
just more racism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Six Flags is owned by Time Warner, though, or whatever the parent is now, because they've got all the DC Comics rides. You can do the Mr. Freeze ride, the Superman parachute, or basically you just free fall in that. They've got a Batman ride and whatever else. So again, they're still doing the tie-ins or whatnot for whatever properties they own. But I just remember it was pretty much just roller coasters, trinkets, and once you ride the rides, you're kind of done.
Right.
But I couldn't see the point of going more than once or twice.
Yeah. So there's always stuff going on. I mean, if you
Like
leave
concerts or something?
Yeah, there's concerts. There's little shows. Like so, you'll leave a ride, and I've explained this to someone before. Every single ride you get out of ends up in a gift shop. So you're going to end up at a gift shop where they try and sell you stuff. And then when you leave the gift shop, you're back on the main street and you can walk back and forth. But they're always doing little shows.
Is that kind of like you come out the end and then like, hey, here's the picture of you guys on the log ride all
Right.
streaming and
Yeah. Just like every
for
other theme park.
$24 you can buy this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's all
it's all for money. I mean, it's all.
well, sure. I didn't think it was
Yeah.
altruistic or charitable. But how many times can you get it all in on one trip?
Probably not if you really wanted to see it all, because you've got the Magic Kingdom Park, which is the
Right.
one I told you about that's very Disney-centric.
Yeah.
You've got Epcot, which is all the parts of the world and that
Yeah.
stuff. And there's rides all in that as well. You've got Disney Hollywood Studios, which is more, that's where the Star Wars thing and the Marvel and stuff's going to be. You've got Disney Animal Kingdom theme park, which is it's basically a big giant zoo. And like you can look out your window and there's a giraffe eating out of a tree and stuff. So it's, that
would
kind
be
of
fun,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. And then there's Disney's Blizzard Beach water park, and that's just a big water park as well. So
Huh.
all that stuff can be included in your package, or you can just pick one or two parks that you want to go to, and you can go back and forth between them. It's whatever you want to do, really.
So when people say they keep going back, there's a reason.
Yeah, because there's a lot to see.
Because they're
And
not
you're
going to see it.
Not really. Especially if you're like me and you don't know you have the free pass to get up front, and you wait in line all damn day, then
Dumbass.
yeah, of course, then you're going to have
Didn't
to.
read the fine print.
Didn't read
You
the
would
fine
think
print.
they wouldn't bury that, though. They'd be
Right.
like, hey, by the way, for paying an extra amount of money, you get to go to...
You get to cheat and go to the front of the line.
Yeah, you get to go to the front of the line, which, that only seems fair. I never got that because we had 2 amusement parks in El Paso, Western Playland, which was right there on Border Highway. And I mean right there. So much so that when you park at the back of the park, you can literally see people coming across. Now this was back in the 80s, so Trump would have loved it. Right. But you could actually see Border Patrol would be lined up at the bottom, and guys would come over, and they would nab them. And you could just sit in the back of the park and watch this all day.
Wow.
So that's how long ago
What was the park called?
Western Playland.
So was it like a Western-themed park or something?
No, I guess just because El Paso's out in West Texas. But okay. I mean, you had the El Bandito roller coaster, the Himalaya, which was the one you wanted to ride if you were in high school because they played hair metal,
right?
And rock, so it was cool. But it was basically, I don't know what it was. It spun you in a circle, and it kind of went up and down and just spun around really fast.
Okay.
And then we had a zero grav thing, a zero G thing, where you're basically, it's a round cylinder and you're not strapped in. I mean, there's a little chain that you can loop in front of you, but it starts spinning and it's all centrifugal force.
Right.
So it's basically spinning upside down and you're just stuck.
Stuck against the wall. Now, does it have the thing where the thing drops out and your feet are dangling?
No, it didn't have that.
They didn't do that? Okay.
Didn't have that.
Because they do that a lot at those things.
But that was, those were kind of like the cool things to do. Other than that, I mean, you could go, try to do a ring toss or the BB gun thing, shoot the
Okay, so carnival games.
A lot of carnival games, overpriced food.
There's some of that at Disney World, too. The carnival games and stuff.
Where they want to...
try and bilk you for more money.
If you ever watch anything on how those things really work, it's fascinating.
It's awful. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's really going to... Going to win at those, but there was that, and then Magic Landing was that was newer. That came about later. I was probably already high, so that was about the 80s. That one opened up. Western Playland had been there forever, and they had some really nice rides. Bigger roller coaster, a log ride, which one night I rode with a buddy. We rode it like 21 times in a row or something.
Wow!
Because we were trying to figure out how to talk to the cute girl who was putting you in the ride.
Of course, yeah.
And at no point did we ever think of a thing to say. We just kept getting
you
in the ride.
just rode the damn thing 20 times. Yeah.
It's so much game.
If you knew then what you know now.
That's true.
You would have not ridden that.
How's it going? You smoke cigars? Just rides where you spin upside down, turn the car.
That kind of stuff. Right?
That sort of stuff. But that one never really took off because at the time it was like way the hell out on the east side of El Paso, which has since grown up around it. Right. So it didn't really do well. We had a couple of water parks that were always, in high school they were fun. Obviously, as you get to be older, and you think, "Ew, this is kind of gross. I don't want to go to the water park anymore."
Yeah.
So, but we would do that in the summer. It was Wet and Wild and
Wetback Alley.
Wetback Alley, yes. That was exactly it. We could all go out to the Rio.
Right.
No, it was one of those where you just get on the shitty foam mat and you just slide down.
Yeah, those things. Like Sleederbahn.
Yeah. Basically, and just pay too much money, get sunburned. And
so I worked at a theme park. I did work at Sleederbahn when I was in high school.
That's right, because you grew up down there.
Yeah. And
how was that?
It was fun. It was fun. So I started off working in I was parking cars because I was trying to get certified as a lifeguard and everything. So I did basically half my summer parking cars and then the rest of it in the park as a lifeguard. And it was definitely more fun working in the park. And I will tell you this. Everybody that works in theme parks is trying to get laid. Everybody was, maybe it was Sleederbahn because it was, everybody's in bikinis suits or whatever. But everybody was trying to get laid. And there was a lot of sex going on all over the place.
Are you talking about employees or just everybody?
Everybody. Employees, customers, whatever. I mean, there's probably not a spot at Sleederbahn where someone hasn't had sex, so it's don't touch a whole lot over there. But
I'm going to scratch that off my bucket list now.
but I mean, it was a totally different park back then. When I worked there, it was like 4 slides in in the river, and that was really it. It wasn't what it is today. Now it's this huge thing that takes over like half the city, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff.
So you're thinking people aren't trying to have sex there now?
Probably not as much because there's probably cameras and stuff now. But back way when, it was a lot like you think it would be. Just a lot of horny teenagers working there trying to get laid. So,
like Wet Hot American Summer?
Yeah, just like that, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I've never been.
Or Adventureland, if you haven't seen that movie. Same type of thing.
I haven't seen it. I might have started it. Somebody was in it I didn't like, so I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesse Eisenberg's
Jesse Eisenberg,
in it.
yeah.
That's why I didn't watch it.
Right.
Again,
One of those guys that's in good movies, but he's not good in them. So.
Yeah, I was telling somebody the other day to watch American Ultra and Mr. Lucky.
Right.
But they were the same thing. They're like, Jesse Eisenberg, Kristen Stewart. I'm like, American Ultra. I hate them both, but I actually like the movie.
Yeah, good movie.
So, that actually had some wheels. There was no amusement park in that, though.
Yeah, and then you also throw in the guy from 70s Show. He's in that as well.
Oh, Topher Grace.
Topher Grace, which I'm not a fan of either. I'm like, wow, I really have 3 reasons not to like this movie, and it's a good movie.
He's one of those guys, he reminds me of Matthew Broderick, where it's like, oh, look, he's trying to play an adult.
Right, and it just doesn't. He just doesn't look like an adult.
Yeah. Rick Schroeder, can he pull off the adult role now?
He can now. I think he's got a little more gravitas.
Because he was on NYPD Blue for a while.
I think that toughened him up as far as people's perceptions of him. Yeah,
just he can pull off the
tough guy role. Right.
Not just some kid who hangs out at an amusement park. Because he did a lot of Disney films.
Right. It's like it was a Donnie Wahlberg for me. Like I saw him in some TV show he's been on forever.
Donnie or Mark?
No, Donnie.
Donnie. Okay, Donnie.
The guy who was in New Kids.
Because he's on Blue Bloods now.
Yeah, he's on Blue Bloods. Yeah. And I'm sitting here watching him, and I thought it hit me. I'm looking him up, who's this guy? And I'm like, that's Donnie. Well, that's the guy from New Kids on the Block. Are you kidding me?
So he does a great movie with Robert Forster called Diamond Men.
Oh yeah,
where he's learning. Robert Forster's the established sales guy. He sells diamonds to jewelry stores and has a territory.
Okay.
And Wahlberg is his basically the guy they've groomed to take his place. And he's the new guy. So he comes out having just gone to the sales school or come out of sales training and thinks that he's the
bee's knees.
Yeah. And then Forster has to explain to him everything they basically taught him is wrong. So if you want to check out a good Mark Wahlberg movie, or Robert Forster, because I love Robert Forster.
Was it Mark or was it Donnie?
No, it was Mark.
Oh, it was Mark.
Okay. Sorry, it was Donnie.
It was Donnie. Yeah. But yeah, so it's weird for me to take him seriously as an actor, knowing that he was the New Kids on the Block. But he's a good actor,
He really is. I tell you what, he plays a hardcore character on Blue Bloods. He's kind of like this temperamental. They did work in a New Kids reference at one point.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It was just kind of an aside. They were talking about I don't know. His kid on the show was having trouble with a girl, and he goes, or you could always just tell her, please don't go, girl. And he's like, "What's that?" And he goes,
"That's
old
awesome.
Song, don't
That's
worry
awesome.
about it."
That's awesome.
Yeah, because you wouldn't expect him to be
right,
and yet he still tours with those knuckleheads.
Yeah, and they put an album out, and it's on the charts and everything. I'm
Seriously?
That's crazy. Yeah,
man.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's in sync.
Go
I can't
figure.
keep up with any of those boy bands.
Right.
But that's the other thing too. Disney, along with the amusement parks, they have that whole network where they just are feeding kids drugs and alcohol and getting them hooked like MGM did to
right.
Judy Garland. And then they turn out and then they become Miley Cyrus.
Yeah. And I think that's the scandal that hasn't broke yet in Hollywood, but it's coming. I mean, the whole Me Too movement thing happened, but they really don't talk about how kids are treated in Hollywood. That hasn't really
No,
hit the
they
news
really
yet.
haven't. Corey Feldman talked a little bit about
right.
it.
Well, I believe the children are our future. And if you treat them well and let them lead the way, then, maybe there'll be less molestation in Hollywood or something. I don't know.
So what happened to Bobby Brown? Yeah, he was in New Kids on the, or not New Kids on the Block. He was a New Edition.
New Edition guy, yeah.
And then look what happened to him, and then he messed up Whitney Houston.
Right.
So there is something in, if you, getting involved in that at such a young age, first of all, I think you have parents pushing their kids into something that, just they're maybe not ready for.
They don't have the mental capacity to understand what it is, I think, really. And then they're pushing them into that. And then, of course, who doesn't like being in the spotlight? Especially, some people don't. But for that type of situation, those kids love being in the spotlight. They love the attention. They're loving the money, which their parents probably stole from them and stuff. But, that's just
Macaulay Culkin.
Exactly, yeah. But back to theme parks, because we're jumping off topic again.
Disney really just, there's so much you could talk about.
There is. I'd love to hate Disney. Yeah, that'll come up soon, I'm sure.
I got to be honest, for a split second, so we're talking about, I'm like, what the hell are we talking about today?
Theme parks.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a list of the top 10 amusement parks in the country.
United States?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Cedar Point's number one, which my family
Really?
got to go to, and I never got to go
Where
to.
is
It's
that?
got 18 roller coasters. It's supposedly really cool. I don't know.
You don't.
I don't know where it's at. This doesn't say where it's at. It just says Cedar Point. Oh, it's in Ohio. Sandusky, Ohio.
I remember Sandusky, Ohio, from that Touch of Mink with Cary Grant and Doris Day.
Yep.
But I would have thought Disney, one of the Disneys would have been up there. Okay, so Cedar Point.
Yeah, No Bells is number 2.
What?
And that is an old-fashioned theme park. So it's, one of those old school ones, like we said, with the carnival games and stuff. Number 3 is Disney World's Magic Kingdom.
Wow.
Number 4 is Schlitterbahn.
No kidding.
Yeah. Number 4. Number 5, Universal Island of Adventure.
What is that, dude?
It has Harry Potter World Wizardry. And all
is
that
it at
stuff
the same
like
place as the original
It's
Universal Studios?
No, that's the one in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got the Harry Potter Wizarding World of Harry Potter and all the other 3D rides and junk.
Where they
have there.
basically have you sacrifice cats and perform witchcraft?
Exactly, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Drink a lot of butterbeer.
Nice.
Six Flags Magic Mountain is number whatever.
That's out in California.
Right. Kings
It used
Island.
to just be Magic Mountain, right?
Right. Now it's
Okay.
Six Flags, yeah. It got bought out. Kings Island, which is the one with the ridiculous Noah's Ark water park thing. Yeah, fun.
Is it a biblical theme park?
I guess. Kings Island is one of the most visited theme parks in the U.S., more than 3 million visits per year. Park is especially known for its family-friendly attractions such as Snoopy Island.
Huh.
Yeah.
You know, Jim Baker tried to build a theme park once. That got him in trouble.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that did.
Yeah. Jesus Land.
Jesus Land. Dell's Water Parks? I've never even heard of this.
What? Dells?
Yeah, Dell's.
Just
D-E-L-L.
like Dells.
Yeah, Wisconsin Dells is a water park aficionado's dream. Dell's Water Park.
That'd be just like having Bob's Water Park, right?
Right,
Bob's Amusement Park. Come on out, kids.
I assumed it was owned by Dell. I don't know, but I guess not.
I just like that. Just like some dude's name, like Dell.
Yep, Hershey Park. It's just there's a joke there.
There is. There really is.
I wonder if it's on the Hershey Highway. You take the Hershey Highway to get to Hershey Park.
I want to know what the rides are.
Had a lot of chocolate-based rides, a lot of slipping on chocolate. Ay.
So I guess that one owned by Hershey, Mars.
Yeah, something like that.
And that's got to be in Pennsylvania, I'm guessing.
I'm sure, yeah. Knott's Berry Farm is the last one. So, and that's a big
Disneyland
one.
didn't even make the cut? Man.
This is the Travel Channel, too. They know stuff.
Well, they do, yeah, because they got all the shows.
Right.
Dell's made it.
Dell's made it. Disneyland didn't.
Wow.
Crazy stuff.
I'm Dell. If you looking for a place to take your kids this summer,
Dell's
look no
Water Park.
further. And we guarantee every one of our employees has just recently completed all the terms of their probation. That's awesome.
Wow.
Anything with a name like that is got to be hilarious. What? Oh shoot! Would you consider like State Fair of Texas not an amusement park, but obviously they've got the rides and stuff? Have you done that?
Yeah, we've done that several years. It's been probably 3 or 4 years since we've been. But it's always a good time. I mean, you kind of have to know what you're getting into when you go to a theme park or an amusement park situation, because it's going to be a shit ton of people. You know, just a lot of noise, a lot of smells. If you can't,
Well,
deal
especially
with
at the State Fair of Texas, because they still have the agriculture part of it.
right, so you get all the cattle smell. So it's a
Yeah.
combination of like sweet marshmallow and cow shit that just kind of permeates the air, and stale beer. There's a lot.
That's
of that
true.
too.
The thing
Yeah.
I remember about the State Fair of Texas was just the overwhelming smell of grease,
Right.
because they fry everything.
Well, yeah, that's where the whole fried Twinkie
Yeah.
thing and everything else that they could think to fry comes from.
The last time I went, I've been 4 times maybe. It's okay, but the last time I went, I actually wanted to go, not for anything other than they had a display, a Superman display of the costumes from the movies and the TV show. So they had the new Henry Cavill costume.
Nice.
They had the Jor-El costume from Man of Steel. They had Christopher Reeve's bad Superman costume from, was it Superman 3?
The
Where he turned bad?
yeah.
Okay, so that from Superman 3. they had Brandon Routh's costume.
Okay.
With the little Speedo.
Wow.
And then they had Dean Cain's costume from Lois and Clark, which looked like your mom sewed it. Mm. It was so bad.
Really?
Yeah, you look at it closely, it is not... It's basically, when they say, hey, spandex doesn't show up well on screen, it looks cheap, it literally looked like somebody had just gone down to the fabric store, bought some spandex, and sewed it together.
Wow.
It did not look professional. And then there was the Brandon Routh costume that looked like, it just looked like crap.
Yeah.
Vinyl cape, it looked like a shower curtain.
Right.
And it just the little Speedo, it looked more rubbery. And then the Cavill suit was kind of cool. The cape was a thick velvet. Mm-hmm. Almost like a burgundy.
That's beautiful. Why is that velvet?
Exactly. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the Reeve suit was the coolest, even though it was dingy because it was evil Superman.
Right.
But, yeah, that one was cool. That was the last time I went to the State Fair of Texas. Didn't buy anything else. Didn't have a funnel cake, turkey leg. It was in there with the auto show, which as I get older, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like the auto part of it. Yeah, that's fun.
You know, you can kind of see, the car of the future.
Right. Today.
Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about theme park food.
Oh, man.
Funnel cakes everywhere.
Yeah.
There's always a funnel cake at a theme park. Mm-hmm. You can't go to a theme park or an amusement park or even a state fair without funnel cake. That's a standard.
That's true.
There's always all kinds of beer. But here is 20 theme park foods you have to try before you die.
So this relates to the bucket list.
It does,
Damn, if only we'd have had this list a week earlier.
Number 1, deep fried Oreos. Have you ever had a deep fried Oreo?
No, let me guess. That's from the State Fair of Texas.
I'm sure it is. It's from actually Kennywood Amusement Park, another next to Bill's or Dell's, I guess.
Dell's.
Kennywood Amusement Park. Yeah, that's where it
Dell
came
and
from.
Kenny.
Olaf Candy Apples, and this is from Disneyland in Anaheim, California. They look terrifying.
Dear God.
Yeah, it's Olaf from that Frozen movie, the worst character. Olaf is the Jar Jar Binks of Disney.
Okay.
Jar Jar Binks is Jar Jar Binks of Disney now,
Right.
but Olaf was like Jar Jar Binks to me. It was just like nails on a chalkboard. Number 3, signature skillets from Silver Dollar City, Branson, Missouri. Not Bronson, Missouri, but...
That's one we didn't talk about was Branson.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Alligator Bites from Nobel's. This is, alligator bites. Same, you see it everywhere, but apparently that's where it came from. Sticky chicken and waffles from downtown Disney Orlando Park.
I chicken and waffles sounds odd, but once you try it,
delicious.
It really is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's delicious.
So why is sticky? Because they don't provide you utensils and you eat them by hand?
It's got all kinds of cream sauce on it, finger licking cream sauce that's like kind of drizzled all over it. So yeah.
There is a restaurant here. I forget the name of it. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Instagram. But I found the picture. It is a red velvet Belgian waffle that they do with chicken. It looks delicious.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Probably,
I bet you.
Your week's worth of calories.
Right. We probably tried
one meal.
Brian McGee or Paul Costa or one of those guys. They
probably.
know exactly what
Oh, yeah, they do. Well, Paul's on the fancy
that's right, yeah.
keto diet.
The thing I'm supposed to be on.
Looking good, too.
Yeah?
He needs to quit wearing the Speedo out, but it's kind of creepy.
I got to lose some weight. Granny's Apple Fries over at Legoland in Carlsbad, California. And they're basically deep fried apples with, look like French fries.
So healthy-ish.
Yeah, let's take healthy and just throw it right out the door. Copa de la Zia in Epcot, which is basically just gelato. It's Italian gelato stand. It's got really good gelato. Deep fried cheese on a stick. It's Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. Sandusky.
Fried
cheese on a stick. It's huge looking. It looks like a giant. What? Looks like someone physically grabbed 4 mozzarella sticks and kind of shoved them together with their hand.
Do they even make those? What were they? Cheese sticks, right?
Yeah.
Chili. Do they still make those?
Yeah, they still have cheese sticks. Everybody's got cheese sticks.
Okay.
Yep.
But not that. That's obviously that's like a burrito cheese stick.
Yeah, it looks like the size of a friggin' burrito from Chipotle or something, but it's just deep fried cheese. S'mores from Hollywood Studios in Orlando, Florida, and that does not look like any s'mores that I've ever seen.
No,
that looks like their little fried pies or something.
Looks kind of good.
Yeah. And then you've got butter beer from Universal Studios.
That would be the
Harry Potter thing. Yeah.
Is it non-alcoholic?
It's non-alcoholic. Yeah, okay. It just tastes like butterscotch, basically, like a butterscotch.
Oh, is
drink.
That okay?
The Churro Sundae from Great America in Santa Clara, California.
Churros are good.
They are delicious. cinnamon bread from Dollywood. Oh, we forgot Dollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Is Dollywood still a thing?
It is. It almost, when they had the fires in Tennessee, it almost, they lost part of the park. But yeah, that is there.
Well, apparently they have really good cinnamon bread.
Oh, there you go. I could go for some cinnamon.
Now, this is right in my alley right here. Gigantic roast turkey leg at Six Flags. Look at that thing.
Which Six Flags? Just any Six Flags?
It just says Six Flags location.
Because they do that at the State Fair, too.
Yeah,
here
they
in
do.
Texas.
Yeah. That looks awesome. Those are great.
That does look good.
Except for the spiny things. You got to pull all the little stick things out.
The sinew or whatever it is.
Yeah. That's never fun. African spice cake over at Animal Kingdom. So you got some nice looking cake there.
Do you remember, was there ever a restaurant, a bar here or in the mall here where we had an animal theme for kids?
Yeah, Rainforest Cafe.
That's what it was.
Still there. Yeah, it's over in Grapevine Mills Mall.
Is it?
Yep.
Man, we had one of those in Kansas City. I just thought it was the weirdest damn thing.
Yeah, it's like there's rhinos and elephants and stuff and dinosaurs
then
and shit.
like mom's over there having like her shitty,
Metropolitan
wine, her shitty rosé or whatever she's drinking, and dad's drinking beer, and there's the kids.
Yep, and there's a Tyrannosaurus Rex next to you going, "Brrr," shooting out steam all over your food. It's kind of weird. The food's not great either.
No.
It's one of those bucket list restaurants.
Yes. Like Cheesecake Factory.
Right. Oh, that guy had a story about that. My daughter was telling me when they were going to New York a couple years ago. They did this long trip, family trip. They drove to New York to go watch someone get graduated, hang out a little bit, and then drove back. And they went to Cedar Point and all this stuff. So they hit up a whole bunch of theme parks on the way back. Sorry I missed the trip. I had to work, whatever.
Did they go to Dell's?
They did not go to Dell's, but they did go to Cedar Point.
That's a bucket
but
list.
she said when they got to New York, she was asking everybody, she's like, oh, man, I got to get some cheesecake when I'm here. All you hear about is New York-style cheesecake. I got to go to cheesecake. Everybody that she asked in New York's like, oh, well, we got Cheesecake Factory. And she's like, no, what? Like, no.
I can get that anywhere.
I know. That's like going to New York saying, yeah, I really need a bagel, and someone just recommends
Einstein's.
Yeah.
Like, no. Where do I get some Chinese food? We've got a Panda Express.
Right.
Like, no.
I mean, you go to Seattle and you ask for coffee. They don't recommend Starbucks. They recommend Seattle's Best or some other places.
Right.
That was amazing to me that everybody was recommending.
You know, one of the cool things, because you've done some Kansas City stuff.
Yeah.
Down the Westport area where Fidel's is.
Right.
There's Broadway Cafe, which I love. Great coffee shop. Right down on the corner, Starbucks opened up. And so, everybody's like, oh, great, now you got to deal with Starbucks. Starbucks actually closed because they didn't get the business. And Broadway Cafe is still in business.
That's fantastic.
I was very excited about that.
That's one of those great stories you never hear enough.
Yeah. No, I'm not a Starbucks fan, so.
Yeah, me neither. So 15, Miss Knott's Fried Chicken Dinner, and this is at Knott's Berry Farm. Looks pretty darn fantastic. Looks good.
I could go for that.
Yeah, I love fried chicken. Mini donuts over at Disney's Blizzard Beach in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
They're just like small little donuts, and you dip them in some raspberry sauce or something. From the looks at it, chocolate sauce as well. Trapper's Smokehouse Brisket in Busch Gardens, which I'm all for that, but it doesn't look as good as the Texas stuff, but it still looks pretty tasty.
Yeah, that doesn't even look like brisket.
I don't know what that, and it comes with waffle fries. I don't know what the fuck that's about, but it's like made
It
by
doesn't look like
Chick-fil-A
any
or
brisket
something.
I've seen.
Yeah. Loaded funnel cake over at Hershey Park. Hey, take the Hershey Highway to Hershey Park and get some funnel cake.
Once you bite into it, you get a nice.
That looks kind of like a mess. It looks like
it doesn't.
Looks like something you find on the carpet after a party that you have to clean up.
It really does.
It doesn't look appeasing at all.
Funnel cake should be very simple,
Oh, it's got M&Ms in it. That's probably why.
Oh, gee.
You had a multicolored M&Ms in your funnel cake.
You just lay that on the carpet and tell somebody they got to clean it up.
Grotter's Black Raspberry Chocolate Chip Ice Cream at Kings Island in Mason, Ohio, which, ice cream is always good.
Yeah.
Del Grosso's Spaghetti and Meatballs over at Del Grosso's Amusement Park in Tipton, Pennsylvania.
Del Grosso's Amusement Park.
Yeah.
What do we got? Del Grosso's, Del's, and what was the other one? Kenny's?
Yeah, something like that. Kennywood, Dollywood, too.
Dollywood.
That was the last one. So, yeah, I mean, theme parks are known for that, for having weird stuff.
And expensive. Overpriced.
Yes, overpriced.
I remember when I went to SeaWorld in San Antonio, and it was incredibly overpriced. I mean, just no matter what you got, it's like, what's the cheapest thing? A burger. $8.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Right.
Wasn't even worth it.
And
SeaWorld was great. I enjoyed SeaWorld. But...
And all of them do that thing, too, that I hate this restaurant trend, by the way, where you go to someplace like, if you go to Burger King or whatever and you get a meal, it's like burger, fries, drink, one price, right? But now you got the places like Smash Brothers and Five Guys where it's like, oh, it's just the burger is $8. If you want fries, that's another $5. Oh, you want a drink?
The amusement
that's $4.
parks are always notorious for that. They don't do combo meals,
Right, and that's what restaurants are doing now, which is really frustrating to me. I hate that.
You know, it's classy when it's a la carte.
Yeah,
like when you go to a fine steak restaurant, and it's like, you get the steak. What would your choice of side be, sir? We're not going to push a choice on you.
Right.
You can get asparagus for $8. You can add a baked potato. So it's fancy. So
right.
Clearly, it's a chef that's cooking the food there at those theme parks.
Yeah, that's still a goddamn russet potato. It's like 5 cents.
Really? Yeah. Oh, the markup is incredible. They make so damn much money. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, whatever the cost is of operating the theme park is exorbitant, I'm sure, because once you have the employees plus whatever your insurance is for liability, is got to be insane. But they're still making money. There's I can't think of the name of it. It's in Kansas City. It's a water park, and they just got shut down and sued because that kid got decapitated on the ride.
Oh, in a water park?
Yes.
Wow.
I can't remember. Worlds of Fun?
But not for that guy.
I think that's it. No, here's the thing that's screwed. The kid was, I think, the son of a state senator.
Ooh.
But it's one of those where it's the world's most hellacious drop. You'll drop 190 feet straight down. So it's one of those.
Right.
And you go down a raft with your family. So as you're going down, there's a cage, I guess, around the top or over the top, so you don't necessarily fly out.
Right.
And web netting on the side. But because it can come off the slide, it went airborne and the kid's head into the top rail.
Ouch.
And so they're getting sued. The ride's been shut down because they're like, nobody should be riding this thing.
Yikes.
And you look at some of those and it's like, this is just crazy. We had one of those at the one in El Paso, but it was like you wrote it yourself.
Right.
But I mean, it's almost a straight drop of you just shooting down, but there's nothing on the side.
Right.
I mean, you go
angle.
flying off the side, you're screwed.
Yeah. Yeah, one guy spoils all the fun.
That's true. Do they do bumper cars anymore? Is that still? Are you still allowed to do that?
Thing, yeah.
I didn't know if there was like lawsuits with that or.
They usually got backs now, so your head doesn't go.
So you don't get the whiplash.
Yeah, so you don't get the whiplash.
Man,
they're taking all the fun out of everything, man. That's what they do. That's what they.
Was it ever really? I mean, yeah, I guess we did have fun.
Sure, we did. We got hurt a lot, but we had fun.
Yeah, I think our idea of fun has changed.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Because I'm having fun doing this.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
and I'm not messing my neck up or anything.
We should do this again next week.
We definitely should, yeah.
And we could follow up on some of the stuff we talked about.
Yeah.
Toys.
Yeah.
Because how did we used to have fun?
Exactly.
That's
Toys.
changed. And also we wanted to, I think you mentioned we were going to talk about colleges at some point.
Yeah, we got some stuff we got to talk about.
So that's going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks that we'll be doing those, but you've just heard us rambling on and talking about why we love to hate amusement parks. Definitely Brandon falls more on the love side. Mm-hmm. I fall more on the side. Yeah. I guess if it's free.
If we're going to go back to the bucket list thing, there was a bucket list mentioned. I think someone had done this where they just wanted to ride like all the best roller coasters over like travel the country like edge to edge and just ride all the best roller coasters along that thing. That sounds pretty fun to me. I would like that.
That's cool and that's doable.
Yeah, that's definitely doable.
When I think of theme parks, there was a bit Eddie Izzard did where they were putting Disney World in the UK.
Yeah.
And, they're going to build a castle. Like, careful, they have real castles here. You got to make it look good.
Right. Like, totally. That didn't last long, did it? Euro Disney?
No.
Yeah.
No.
No one got it.
Like, yeah. We have actual history here. We don't need your plastic.
And it kind Mickey Mouse bullshit, literally.
Literally, yeah, you're right. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like when we go to Vegas and I see New York. I'm like, this looks like shit.
Right.
It's all just a facade and whatnot.
Yep.
So, hey, anyway, kids, thank you for joining us. Brandon, if they want to communicate with us, how would they do so?
Well, you got several ways you can do that. You can go to Twitter and tweet to us at Love to Hate Pod, or you can go to Instagram and comment on one of our posts on Instagram at Love to Hate Pod there. We're also available for you to listen on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and YouTube. There's no video on YouTube, but, you get a nice little photo, and you can listen to it there. And don't forget to give us those likes on the Facebook page.
Please.
Comment there as well. And if you haven't done an iTunes review yet, please give us an iTunes review. A 5-star review always helps us get better placement in iTunes.
We should make ourselves available for, like, weddings and quinceañeras and bar mitzvahs, too.
Absolutely.
If you want to have us come out and do a live show. Or at cigar shops.
There you go.
Coming soon. Thanks for spending another weekend with us, kids. We'll talk to you later.